Okay, Peter, so back in the gym after that lovely trip to Ireland, and looking forward to the last instalment of Fight Camp 2. So the third one coming up this Saturday, August the 14th. So, I've been watching the other two, thought the production team's going really well, the commentary team's going really well. Interesting to see this weekend it'll be the addition of Mike Costello, who's going to be the linchpin, the anchor, supposedly of this commentary team. Obviously, he's been away seeing out his contract with the BBC, working for the Olympics, and he comes in and joins Matchroom on these DAZN productions from this Saturday. So that'll be an interesting addition to the commentary team, see what he brings. But, it's an interesting lineup, interesting fight. The main event is Joshua Buatsi against Ricards Bolotniks. Now, this is a very interesting fight. You've got to remember, Buatsi is kind of backed by a lot of people. He's seen as a guy with immense potential. He's managed by Anthony Joshua. He's obviously signed to Matchroom. He's 14-0, and this is another big test for him. Now, Ricards Bolotniks is 18-5-1, so 18 wins, 5 losses and 1 draw. But don't look at that and think, the guy's had 5 losses. These losses came early. This is not a kind of sponsored fighter. He's he fights out of Latvia, originally from Riga, and those losses came early. And he's a tough guy. He's coming off a winning streak of 7 fights. He's recently won the MTK Golden Contract, and in that tournament to win the MTK Golden Contract, he defeated some really good fighters like Hosea Burton. He's a very, very tough guy. So he's definitely something to, and his rating is very similar to Buatsi, his world rating. So they're very close. I mean, BoxRec, for example, has him at 12 globally and has Buatsi at 12 and him at 11. So this is the kind of guy that Buatsi needs to get past. Looking at Buatsi, obviously he's got that perfect ledger of 14-0. He does have a great amateur pedigree, which sometimes people overlook. He got that bronze medal in Rio in 2018. He got a couple of national championships, in the UK as well. So a really great amateur pedigree. And he's looked good. He's developed well. He went to work with Virgil Hunter for his last fight, and he came out and looked sensational against Dos Santos in that last fight. He stopped him with a devastating right hand in the 4th round. So there seems to have been considerable improvements, with this move over to the States to get Virgil Hunter on board onto the coaching team. And he's going to be looking, obviously, he's going to say this before a fight, but Buatsi is saying he feels great. He feels he's made more significant improvements. He's what he calls leveling up. So, if he's going to be more devastating than Dos Santos fight, this is going to be really interesting to see. And Bolotniks is a good guy to test this again. But make no mistake, in a way, this is it's a good fight. It's a really good fight between two very tough guys. But Buatsi is seen as the one with the massive potential who will come through this, and this is a stepping stone for him. In a way, to look at this fight, if he lost to Bolotniks, he's probably not going to get to that world class that everybody thinks he's going to get to. If he made it hard work of it, hard going, and say a points win, it would be he's not ready for a world title. And if he comes out and does what he did against Dos Santos, against an operator of the quality of Bolotniks, then he's probably ready to go for a world title in the next 1 or 2 fights. So that's kind of the metric that we're looking for, in this fight. But it is an exciting fight. And what to look for in the fight. I think, Buatsi has that beautiful jab, honed in the amateurs. It's absolutely superb. He finds his range with it. He scores brilliant points with it, and he sets up, what he's going to do next. And he stops you working with it. So, I expect him to come out boxing behind the jab. Bolotniks is dangerous. Get control of the fight, dictate the pace from behind the jab and stop Bolotniks' attacks from the jab, and then start whipping over that devastating looping right hand that he uses so well. Bolotniks, on the other hand, I think he might bide his time a little bit as well, because when he's feeling comfortable, Buatsi can sometimes drop his guard a bit. He can slightly go to sleep. So I think Bolotniks will be looking to come in. Think maybe he's going to lose the first few rounds while he works things out, and then he'll be looking for Buatsi to get a little bit comfortable. If that jab drops after he throws it, as it sometimes does, the overhand right is going to come in. And Bolotniks will, don't make no mistake, he's a tough customer. He'll be coming to win this. He'll be coming to make a statement, put himself right in the mix. And he is a tough guy that will come to fight and will come to win, and is dangerous throughout the whole fight. So, I think it's a great fight to go out with. And one thing it makes me think of, it's kind of a similar scenario to what we finished Fight Camp with last year. We had Dillian Whyte expected to win against the dangerous Povetkin, who lost a couple of times. And obviously the script was all upset when Povetkin uncorked that beautiful left uppercut on Dillian Whyte and kind of ruined Matchroom's golden boy, who was being groomed for the big shot. And it's a similar situation here. Buatsi is being groomed for the big shot. He's seen as someone who can get past this opponent, despite this opponent being tough. So, will Eddie have his banana skin on the last fight of what has again been a brilliant Fight Camp? We'll find out. So, it's a really good fight, really worth watching. You know, the next fight down the bill is Michael McKinson against Zemislav Ronowski. Now, Michael McKinson is 20-0. Again, a young man who a lot is expected of, and Ronowski is 19-1. Now, that one loss came against Josh Kelly in his 18th fight. I think it was Josh Kelly's 8th fight, and it's notable that was really his one step up in real class, you know, to real prospect class, which he's stepping up to again with McKinson. So I don't see this as being, you know, a super competitive fight. It's a good fight. It's a good fight, but I definitely think, you know, McKinson is the strong favourite going into this. And they are contesting, or McKinson is defending his WBO global welterweight title. Now, the global title is not the same as the world title, because as you understand, the globe is not the same as the world. So, you know, I don't want to start going down the route of criticising the alphabet's different belts. We've talked about that many times before, but this is the WBO global welterweight title. Now, I went onto the WBO's website to find out exactly what the global welterweight title was, or the global title was, and I couldn't really find out. It's a kind of regional title, you know, and I think it's enough smoke and mirrors to make people hold up the belt and think, there you go, it's a global title, but it's not a world title. You know, I mean, you know, McKinson is a work in progress. Again, you know, his world ranking is about 35. You know, Ronowski's world ranking is about 53. So, you know, these are not guys that are ready to challenge for world titles. But McKinson is a great prospect. I expect him to come through this test, you know, similarly to how Josh Kelly did. I expect basically a stoppage mid to late in this fight. Then going down the next fight up, we've got Ukashir Farouk against Luis Trinaldo Castillo. Castillo, the Mexican, is 28-2, and Farouk is 15-1. That one loss coming against Lee McGregor in 2019, you know, which is obviously no disgrace at all. Lee McGregor is another fantastic prospect, but Farouk is, you know, in this fight, and again, a strong favourite. This is a kind of marking time fight for him. Again, if you look at the world rankings on BoxRec, Farouk is about 15, Castillo is about 107. So, you know, I think this will be a run out for Farouk, and this is for the vacant WBC International Bantamweight title. And I didn't even mention in the lead fight, the Joshua Buatsi fight, that's for the WBA International Light Heavyweight title, which Buatsi will be defending for the 7th time, and he has scored 6 knockouts in defence of that title. So, you know, there's a lot of titles in this show, which I think is a little bit confusing, as we've said, for the punters, especially this global title, which is not a world title, it's a regional title, but it's global. So, you know, you got to work that out yourself. But yeah, there's a lot of titles on the line, but, you know, you've got to look at the reality of these fights. You know, these are generally moving on fights for exciting matchroom prospects. You know, and again, an exciting matchroom prospect. You've got Ray Ford 8-0 going in against Ricards Bolotniks. Again, Ricards Bolotniks has not mixed in the class that Ray Ford has come in mixed into. So I expect that to be a good development fight for Ray Ford, and again, a mid to late stoppage I expect. Lower down the bill, you've got Joe Cordina 12-0 going in against Joshua Hernandez 10-3. You've got Zelfa Barrett 25-1, and that's TBA. So I still haven't seen on BoxRec this morning, you know, who they've got for him. So, you know, they'll be searching around and making some phone calls, and people will be jacking up the money, but somebody will come in for Zelfa Barrett. Then you've got 4-0 Hopi Price against Claudio Grandi 5-0. So, you know, a good finish to matchroom. I think it's, you know, been really exciting to see Buatsi. It is a test for him, but, you know, I believe, you know, as AJ does and Eddie Hearn does, in the potential of Buatsi. I think, you know, he's developing very well under Virgil Hunter, so I see him coming through that test. But again, you know, are we going to see the banana skin? You know, the curse of the match for banana skin on the last fight, we'll see. But, you know, it's a good build, good fights. You know, matchroom prospects coming through. Be interesting to see Mike Costello in the commentary team. And, you know, overall, we'll judge it after this one. But I think so far it's been a great success. So, yeah, the end of fight camp for another year, and I'm sure it'll be back next year.